This is Bible Mechanics, episode 33, and this will be the third of three that I've done for you on concordances. And I was going to just do two, but the last one, the story about the older man, I know what you're thinking. There's an older man that's talking right here. Well, anyway, I was much younger when the older man talked to me and told me about a concordance, and I spent longer on it because I really think it was worthwhile. It really had an impact on me. It really helped me enormous amounts. I'd hate to think where I would be in my Bible study if I'd not had that interaction with him and his impressing upon me the value of getting a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. And so I don't usually use the print versions like the ones I showed you in episode 1. Because they're just a little bit unwieldy, and using the internet is so much faster. But I wanted to spend a few more minutes on just the broader subject of concordances to help further emphasize to you how valuable they can be. Now, you could argue that a dictionary, just a good dictionary, whether it's online or hard copy, is just as important. Some people might say more important than a concordance. But there's a couple of reasons why that might not be true. One is that dictionaries change their meaning. Trends come and go, and I can't quote it to you right now, but I remember looking up one time what marriage meant in the 1828 Noah Webster American English Dictionary, and then what it means in the modern Merriam-Webster Dictionary, that Merriam-Webster being the heir to the Noah Webster's original company, or his original copyright, whatever it was. And the definition changed, and it was, according to social trends. If you think about it a minute, 1828 dictionary compared to, let's say 2020s, that's a 200-year period. It shouldn't be, the definition of marriage should not be changing in that period of time. Because it's a biological thing, it's part of nature. It's been around for thousands of years, but that happens, and so it happens with other words too. And therefore, a dictionary is not as reliable as you would think it would be, and it's particularly not as reliable as it was, say, decades ago when I was going to school. Dictionaries tended to be relatively stable. But they're sure not stable anymore, because being politically correct is often very, very important. So the advantage of a concordance is that it can show you how the word is used, because that's really where dictionaries get their definitions from, is how people use a word. But if you are looking at a concordance, it tells you how other Bible writers are using that word. And yes, the Bible was written over a period of 1,500 years, 1,600 years. And so the meanings of words can change over time, but things didn't change as rapidly back then. And, society didn't change as rapidly. We have future shock now. They didn't have future shock back then because the future didn't come at them as fast as it comes at us today. So seeing the various ways in which a word is used in the Bible gives you a very true sense of what those people who wrote those words were meaning by that. And sometimes it can help you just to find 2 or 3 uses of a word. Other times, when words are used much more often than that, it can help you even more. And that also becomes a way of letting the Bible interpret the Bible. That's better than me interpreting the Bible or you interpreting the Bible. The reader, to a certain extent, has to interpret what he reads. But the more you can get one Bible author or even the same Bible author using the same word in different letters, writing to different audiences or writing a different document. That's even better because you're getting help in understanding what the words mean, and you're letting the Bible interpret the Bible. You're letting the Bible decide what what the point is being made. So it takes you a little bit out of it. Now let me see here my notes if I had anything else I wanted to say. Yeah, the last thing I wanted to say has to do with the word Sheol, which I've mentioned from time to time. Sheol is an Old Testament word because it's a Hebrew word. And if you have a concordance, you can look up that word where it appears in the Bible, because once again, you can look it up in a dictionary, and sometimes you have to get a Bible dictionary. There are actual Bible dictionaries that define Bible words. But a lot of times those definitions can be shaped by someone's theological convictions, by their denominational point of view. But if you use a concordance to research a word called Sheol, or Hades, as it's called in the New Testament, it's used 65 times in the Old Testament. It comes out as Sheol. It's pretty consistently translated in the NASB 1995. And then in the New Testament, it's pretty consistently translated as Hades, which is the Greek word for the same area. It's the underworld, the place of the dead when people died. The ancient world, people perceived everyone who died going below, because it was just natural you went below. And that was consistent with the way God had taught his people. So, the concordance helps you sort those words out, even though you don't know Hebrew and Greek. So that brings us full circle back to where we were at the beginning of this series, which was that if you know the original languages, like if you know Hebrew, you know Greek, you're in a very good place to read the original text. And if you don't understand it, then you can read a Greek dictionary or a Hebrew dictionary, or even use a Greek or a Hebrew concordance to help you sometimes. But an English concordance helps an English-speaking person understand the Bible far better than he otherwise would. It enables him to look back. He can't understand the Hebrew words as well as someone who understands Hebrew. He can't understand the Greek words as well as someone who understands Greek. But he can understand it a whole lot better than someone who just only understands English. So a thesaurus is just an excellent, look at the Bible, not a thesaurus. A concordance, particularly an exhaustive concordance, is an excellent tool for helping non-Hebrew speakers and non-Greek speakers to kind of get a little closer to the ancient languages than they otherwise could. So if you don't have an exhaustive concordance, just search online, you'll find one. And you can find probably a selective concordance in the back of your Bible, like here's one in the back of this Bible. But by all means, use a concordance when you study the Bible. God bless you.